Today, we will once again take a look at interesting footage that captures a moment. Ukrainian FPV drones relentlessly blow up dozens of Russian troops in battle. New footage appears to show a Ukrainian first-person view, FPV, kamikaze drone attacking a Russian-held building using thermobaric munitions, with Kyiv looking around for new ways to keep up strikes as shell hunger bites. The footage, widely circulated online and attributed to Ukraine's 28th Mechanized Brigade, appears to show a Ukrainian-operated explosive drone barrel into a single-story building through a window, before an explosion rips through the structure. A longer version of the clip, posted by the 28th Mechanized Brigade, looks to show footage from the FPV drone heading for the structure, before cutting to the feed from another airborne drone. Thermobaric weapons have been used throughout the war, creating more destructive explosions than those produced by conventional weapons through two detonations. FPV drones are a cornerstone of Ukraine's drone effort and the race to develop uncrewed vehicles faster, better, and in higher numbers than Russia. They can be used to record dramatic battlefield footage where the drone travels towards Russian vehicles before exploding, or deployed as reconnaissance tools to guide artillery strikes. However, it is difficult to compile numbers, but we are seeing more and more thermobaric FPV strikes as Ukraine manufactures them en masse, military and weapons expert David Hambling told media. Ukraine may use precise drones with massive blast effects to offset their shortage of artillery when assaulting Russian defensive positions, Hambling said. Artillery, and the ammunition to keep the systems firing, has been a key part of the land war raging for more than 25 months in eastern and southern Ukraine. Ukrainian officials and Western analysts have said Ukraine's operations have been restrained by shell famine as Russian forces inch westward, while Kyiv's fighters are thought to be firing around a fifth of the ammunition Russia's troops are able to use up. Ukraine is turning to new tactics, like using thermobaric warheads on drones, to try to bridge the gap. Thermobaric warheads are the munition of choice for attacking troops in bunkers, trenches, and buildings. However, Russia does not seem to have debuted thermobaric drone warheads, Hambling said. Russia has used the TOS-1A Solnsepik against Ukrainian forces, a system it describes as a heavy flamethrower, and Russia's defense ministry said the TOS-1A was a formidable weapon for its troops against Ukrainian forces. The impact of the TOS-1A is devastating, the British Defense Ministry said in March 2022. It can destroy infrastructure and cause significant damage to internal organs and flash burns, resulting in death to those exposed. Thermobaric weapons, also known as vacuum bombs, were used by Soviet forces in Afghanistan and Chechnya, as well as by the US military in the 1960s. They are some of the most devastating and vile rockets in existence, Jordan Cohen, a policy analyst at the Cato Institute, previously told media. On the other hand, cluster munitions, which Ukrainian troops utilized in the video, are banned in more than 120 countries, but have been used by Russia and Ukraine in the war. Ukraine has dealt another significant blow to Russia's armored vehicles in newly released thermal imaging footage showcasing the cluster attack. The video was shared on social media platform X by a veteran of the Ukrainian army and reportedly shows the 92nd Separate Assault Brigade taking out a series of Russian vehicles. A Russian assault towards positions of the 92nd Brigade was repelled thanks to the thermal vision drones. The aftermath of this assault was published before, but this video wasn't yet made public. While we can see effective work of our artillery and cluster munitions, however, it wouldn't be possible with thermal vision drones that provided the picture. At second 15 you can see Russian armor exploding because of the submunition hit. The 30-second clip highlights 12 Russian targets said to be traveling near the city of Andriivka, before Ukrainian forces rained down a cluster munition strike, taking some of them out. It is not clear from the video exactly how many of the armored vehicles were destroyed, but footage shows a series of explosions after submunitions from cluster bombs hit the field. Andriivka is south of the city of Bakhmut, which has been wiped out since Russia took control in May 2023 as part of its offensive mission in the Donetsk region. Since its capture Andriivka, Russian forces have been moving westward towards the settlement of Chasiv Yar, but unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, are often used by Ukrainian forces to execute strikes on Russian assets, particularly armored vehicles. Cluster munitions, which Ukrainian troops utilized in the video, are banned in more than 120 countries, but have been used by both Russia and Ukraine throughout the war. They are highly controversial as they are a high risk to civilians and detonate long after they have been deployed. However, in July 2023, the US agreed to supply Ukraine with munitions used in this type of strike. There is a treaty countries can sign to prohibit using, producing, or stockpiling cluster munitions, but Ukraine, Russia, and the US have not signed it. Meanwhile, Ukrainian strikes on Russian refineries may have disrupted more than 15% of Russian capacity, a NATO official said on Thursday, adding that the alliance believed Moscow still lacked sufficient munitions and manpower to launch a successful offensive. Russia and Ukraine have both used drones to strike critical infrastructure, military installations, and troop concentrations in their more than two-year war. However, with Kyiv hitting Russian refineries and energy facilities in recent months, with some strikes entering 1,000 kilometers into Russian territory. In terms of damage, the strikes have probably disrupted more than 10% of Russia's refinery capacity, maybe more than 15%, depending on the extent of the damage. Repairs could take considerable time, the official told reporters on condition of anonymity.
Орудие!